Aye, my name's Mike Freyne, Father Mike Freyne. I'm a Mill Hill missionary. I worked for almost 30 years in Brazil. I've been working here the last 17 years in the Diocese of Dunkeld. I was asked to say a few words about how we can be missionaries of hope. And then what immediately came to mind, because you sometimes think you don't do very much, my first parish in an area that literally had nothing, just very simple houses scattered along the side of the road. And on the other side of the road was a swamp. And I began meeting with 3 old ladies once a week on their veranda, and we started saying the rosary. And we did that for months, just saying the rosary. Later on, they said, what about if we could say Mass here? And they invited a few more people along. And then again, months later, the number had grown into quite a large group. We managed to get some money, and we bought an old ramshackled house at the side of the swamp. And we began to use that as a church within the walls. Eventually, we managed to buy a barn, erect this barn, and put some walls up round the side. And slowly things began to grow round the Eucharist. When I left there, 15 years later, they had a youth group, they had a weekly Mass on a Saturday night, they had a mothers group, they had all the catechists with the children, preparing the children for their sacraments, First Communion, First Confession, Confirmation. The local council paid a doctor to be in one of the rooms, and they set it up as a small clinic. In another room, we had a lawyer once a week to talk to people who had been thrown off their land. Eventually, they put in 3 small rooms for wives that were being abused. For a community that had absolutely nothing, worked in the houses of the very rich, they had no worth or dignity of their own. 15 years later, they had their own community. They had great dignity. They knew their worth. They knew they were Christians. They knew that they were not just part of the church, they were the church. And they were a very vibrant and dynamic community. And they still are today. That's great news. And I think that's a great message of hope. God bless.